real niggas gonna understand what this mean, but life just be lifing, bro. Ain't shit you can do about it other than stand up, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just keep fighting this shit every day. But I know it's gonna get better though, cause I'm genuinely like a good person, so I ain't gonna lie. So I feel like it's gonna get better, bro. It's just not my turn right now.
What up, world? Live on that with Mr. Be Great today, Lamar King Sr. Glad y'all tapped in with me. It's another all positive podcast. And Mr. Be Great today has some words of encouragement. And y'all already know. I'm just gonna jump right on in. Now today's show is one that's pretty difficult for myself. And for my listeners who don't know, unfortunately, my wife and I lost our daughter during childbirth on the 29th. First off, I want to thank everybody for their calls and their texts and their DMs, their comments, their encouraging words, their kind gestures, as me and my wife go through this difficult time right now. And I really want to, talk about this today because I'm pretty sure that if I'm dealing with it, me and my wife are dealing with situations like this, there's other people as well. And the topic of the show today is life be lifing. I know we use that term a lot in today's society, and it's the truth. Life continues to give us obstacles and challenges that we very well may not understand. We may not get it, and things don't go as planned because of the challenges and the things that life may bring upon us. But through it all, I'm still gonna be here like a broken record, telling you guys to keep pushing, continue to be great, continue to stay optimistic. But when death comes, and especially at very unexpected times, it can be confusing. It can be a difficult question to even ask, and definitely an even more difficult question to answer. But life is a process. Life is moving through space and time, and through the good, the bad, the ups and the downs, on a roller coaster filled with emotions. Life is victories and losses and triumphs and failures and everything in between. So it's very, very important that you build your character, you build your sense of living, that you build it up throughout your life. So when those true tough moments come in, whether it be like me and my wife are going through the death of a child, or it may be the death of your parents, or it may just be the death of a very good close friend, it's something that you won't ever be prepared for. And that's why it's imperative that you build yourself up through meditation, through self-affirmations, through positive words about who you are and your motives in life, that when these situations come up and they rock your family to the core, that you're still able to withstand and still have the mental fortitude to push through and stay focused on the task at hand. And it's hard. It was difficult for me to even do this show this morning. It was difficult for me to get on here and help someone and help myself at the same time. One of the biggest things I did these past few days was take my own advice. I've been going back listening to past shows, and one of the shows that's helped me the most is Comparison is the Thief of Joy. And in this situation that I'm dealing with, as life is definitely lifing for me and my wife now, I had to understand that comparing what would have happened or what could have happened or what should have happened to what actually happened, it just further fuels anger, resentment, depression, making me super anxious about the whole scenario that we're dealing with. And listening to that show, it just reassured me that we don't have room to look at one situation versus another and try to compare it to make sense of it. And even with my daughter, Kennedy Grace King, she was 4 pounds. She was 32 weeks. I'm talking about beautiful, beautiful, beautiful little girl who was pretty much an identical twin to my miracle baby, Courtney, who was only born 1 pound at 23 weeks. And I'm asking myself, like, how did Courtney make it and not Kennedy? And I'm asking myself everything that we envision and plan to have for our daughters. And I just had visions of them running around the house, and I bought tennis rackets. I said I was going to have Serena and Venus. And it's a tough time for the kid, man, and even tougher time for my wife. But I am a firm believer that this situation is only going to make our union stronger, going to make our love and appreciation for each other that much more. But right now it's still kind of foggy. It's still so fresh, and it's still so confusing. And I just want to give someone else who may be dealing with something similar or who had to deal with this in the past is that we can't play fortune teller. We can't play God in this situation. We can't look at it as, what if this would have happened? Or why did this happen? It's a process, and where there's life, there surely will be death. And that's one of those most confusing and most difficult challenges that we face, and especially in our situation where we never really got to bond with our daughter. My wife carried it for 32 weeks, and to not bring her home from the hospital is heartbreaking, to say the least. And I just want you guys to understand that life is filled with sacrifices. Some, greater than others. But no matter if it's a physical injury or an emotional injury, in the event of an injury, you must concentrate your attention on that area. If you have a broken arm, the doctor is going to take x-rays, cast, focus and concentrate on that area that's injured. And the same thing must be done when we're talking about emotional injury. We go through things and we deal with situations, just like things I'm dealing with now. It's time to focus on that area, concentrate on that area. It's not time to run away from it. It's not time to disregard it, because just like if you had broken your arm, you're not going to disregard the fact that the arm is broken. You're not going to disregard the fact that your arm is injured. You're going to concentrate to that area. You're going to support that area. You're going to surround that area with some type of reinforcement. And that's the same thing we have to do in our emotional injuries. We got to find ways to talk about these things. We got to find ways to have an outlet. We got to be open. We got to be honest. We can't sit there and internalize these situations, or it's gonna hurt us far more than it's gonna help us. And that's not helping us at all. And I challenge my listeners, I encourage my listeners, when you're going through things like this, focus on it. Don't run from it. Don't waddle in your pity and your pain. Don't get out of that bed. It's a hard thing to do. I know it is. It doesn't help you at all. And I challenge you to get up, get out, move around, talk about it, find some therapy, whatever the case may be. Find a trusted loved one and confide in, and get these things off your chest and get these things off your heart, and find ways to make sure that you can never be in a place emotionally injured like that, to that effect, because you neglected it and you didn't concentrate on the injured area. Even with lifing like it does, even with the challenges that you're dealing with and faced with on a day-to-day basis, you could be in the situation me and my wife are in. Things could be so much worse. Things could be so much more difficult. And I want you guys not to take it for granted, the things you have now, the relationships you have now, the family and the loved ones you have now. Don't take it for granted. Don't take that time. It's more important than any material thing you can give to anyone. Your children, your spouse, your parents, your sisters and brothers, your cousins, whomever. Time is far more important than what you can give a person or what you can do for a person. I wish I had time to hold my daughter one more time. I wish I had time to make her laugh and burp her and change her diaper. But those things won't happen. Those things won't exist for me or my wife. And I just have to come to the realization that life is definitely lifing for the Kings. And I just really want you guys to use my story, just as I've always done on previous shows. Use my life experiences as a gauge to see where things could be, or to gauge to see how to deal with certain situations. Now, I'm no expert on any of this, but I can tell you that maneuvering through life, thinking that you know it all, or that you can handle this situation, or you don't need no help, it's a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for shortcomings. So don't be afraid to use up my situation, use me and my wife's situation. It's a tough time, but I must stay in good spirit, stay super supportive for my wife, love on my daughter, and live life with the expectations that we shall get through this as well. We shall become stronger because of this untimely death. And that's what I challenge my listeners. I challenge you to use the obstacles and the challenges you face and the things you're dealing with. I challenge you to use it as fuel to make you a better person, to make you see life differently. Because just as I said before, things could be way worse. The challenges that you're facing, the things that you're up against now may seem like a tough road. They may seem as if there is no end in sight. But I'm here to tell you, if you stay focused, if you have the mindset that you will make it through this, if you don't allow your mind to take you on that time travel back in time trying to figure out this or that, or I should have did this, don't allow yourself to be taken to that place. Don't allow yourself to point the finger at yourself, because life be lifing, and it's going to continue to be lifing to the day you leave this planet, to the day you leave this world. And it's up to you to adjust and make adjustments in your life regardless of what's coming along. It's kind of like the reason why you have a spare tire in your car. You don't plan on having a flat tire. You don't plan on being on the side of the road, but you have one just in case it does, right? And there's nothing more fulfilling than to come out and see you have a flat tire and you got a fresh spare tire in the back. And I just want you to understand that you got to prepare yourself for times like this. You got to prepare yourself for events in your life that are going to shake you to your core, and you have to understand that they're coming. And that's episode comparison is the thief of joy. I talked about how you even in the good times, you got to brace yourself for the hard times that you're about to face, because they're coming. Because life will continue to life. Life will continue to throw curveballs at you at the most untimely times, at the times you least expect it. And you got to have the spiritual strength to see it as a lesson and to see it as something that you can gain something from. I look at this situation as, if nothing else, the death of my daughter will make my wife's and I's marriage that much stronger. It will give us a different outlook when we look at Courtney and how we love on her and how we raise her, and make us even more appreciative that we have her. Because I tell you, she is the sole person that just has made this process that much easier. To have her to love on and to see her smiling face is easing the pains that we're dealing with. And that's what I challenge my listeners. When you're going through these tough times, you got to find some type of bright light to help ease the pain, because the pain is going to be there and it probably will never leave. It may subside. It may get less effective on how your day goes, but you got to find something to, I wouldn't say distract, but something to gain your attention and to give you a sense of appreciation that things could be even worse than this. You know, I look at the situation and I see my daughter and I'm like, it could be worse. I could have no daughters. That would be even more devastating. It's like it always can be worse. It always someone that's in a worse situation than you. So I challenge you guys, don't fix your mouth to complain about the things you're going through. It's a hard thing to do. It's a difficult task to overcome, but there's always someone going through something worse. And you could easily be in that situation. And that's why I challenge you to understand that life will continue to life. Life will continue to take you through changes and ups and downs, but you got to find some sense of hope. You got to find some reason to keep on pushing. You got to sometimes refocus, reset, reboot, and realize that things like this happen. Things like this occur, but it won't define me. It won't make me change my whole trajectory of life because something devastating like this happened. I'm going to use it as fuel to push this marriage and push this family to the next level at all costs. And Kennedy is going to be the reason why our union is so strong, why our family is so foundationally solid. Because it makes you wonder, it makes you think, it makes you question. When shit like this happen, it takes you to a place that you never thought you'd be. I'm just here to tell you, and I'm here to tell myself that this too shall pass. We shall get through this, and you as well. But don't be so hard on yourself and playing the fortune teller game. Don't play the time travel card, because you can't change it. Only thing you can change is now. Only thing you can be affected by is what happens now and what do you do going forward. So don't allow the trials and tribulations that you deal with, the things that you're up against, the way that life be lifing. Don't let it change you. Don't let it change you for the worse, because again, we may be going through some tough times now, but trust me, the good times will be back. The highs will be back, but on the flip side, the lows will too. And that's why it's imperative that you build up your character and build up your spiritual strength. So when these blows hit and these situations, rear their heads in your lives, that you can withstand them somewhat, that you're not broken all the way down into a deep state of depression, or you're to the point where you don't want to move, you don't want to get out of bed, you don't want to talk to nobody. It's one of those things that I know is difficult to talk about. I know you don't really want to answer the phone. Me and my wife been in a situation where our phone's been ringing for the last 3-4 days, and we really haven't talked to anyone. And it's one of those things when you just want to shut down. You don't want to be bothered. You don't want to answer questions. You don't want to talk about it. But just as I was telling my wife last night, you got to talk about it. You got to get it off your chest. You got to get it out, and to some trusted people, of course. Some people truly are concerned about your well-being when you're going through stuff like this. People are truly concerned about how you're doing and how you're holding up. And then, of course, we know we got some people that just want the tea. But at the end of the day, use your discernment that you've used to get you this far in life and share and express and talk about the situation with trusted, genuine people. And that can be a difficult task. But again, it doesn't matter. Don't be afraid to talk about it. And my wife, if you're listening to this, it's okay, baby. I know you talk to me. I know you talk to your sisters, your mother, but you got some trusted friends that truly concerned about you. And I challenge you to don't be afraid to open up to the people that truly care about you. It's a hard situation that we're going through, but I promise you, darling, we will get through this too. With every bone, every muscle in my body, it will be used to make sure that this family holds it together and continues to push and continues to live life despite the circumstances. And I just really wanted this message to go out to all of my listeners, the ones near and far, that I appreciate your prayers. I appreciate your calls and your texts. I appreciate all the kind gestures. Definitely appreciate all the love. And I just want someone else to gain something from this situation and gain something from the things they've had to deal with in their lives or may even be dealing with today, that this too shall pass. Even with life and like it does, things will be better. Stay focused. Don't allow the circumstances to change you for the worse. Don't allow circumstances to take you down that hole of depression. And I promise you that these bad times or these troubling times, they shall pass as well. You will get through this as well. You will make it through. And regardless of what's being said or what's been done around you, you keep your eyes on the prize. You get that tunnel vision. It's time to break out that journal and write those goals over and over again and refocus, reboot, reset, and do all the things that I've been speaking about on this show for the last year. And one of the hardest things I've found out going through this situation is taking my own advice. Life has been amazing since me and my wife got married in 2021. Everything has been clicking on all cylinders. But June 29th was something that changed everything. June 29th was something that shook this marriage and this family down to its knees. And that's why I had to go back and I had to listen to my own words. Because oftentimes we can give out the advice, but we suck at taking it, right? We can tell someone else how to do it, but then we suck at doing it, And guess what? I'm a victim of that. It's easier for me to give words encouragement to others, but oftentimes it can be difficult for me to give words encouragement to myself. And that's another challenge I have for my listeners. Speak life into yourself today. Give yourself that pep talk. Be your biggest hype man, and understand that life is going to continue to be life, and life is going to continue to take you through some changes, but you keep your eyes on the prize. Continue to write in your journal. Continue to check off your goals each and every day. Continue to have that self-talk in the mirror with yourself that you shall get through this. And this is something I have to truly practice now, something I truly have to practice even more now, because I'm going through a situation, and I just truly want my listeners to understand that regardless of what you go through, you shall get through this too. All right. And that's all I got for y'all today, man. I really appreciate all the love and affection shown towards us during this troubling times of our lives. And we're going to continue to love on each other and love on Courtney and, get past this situation. Again, I want to thank you all for just being there. I want to thank you all for everything you've done, all the prayers and everything you've done for us. And we truly appreciate you guys. But it's one of those things. But y'all make sure y'all go check me out. Mr. Be Great Today on TikTok, YouTube, and Fanbase. Mr. Be Great Today, INC on IG. And On Air with Mr. Be Great Today on Facebook. I love you all. And you already know. Be great today. Peace.